All right, YouTube. So this is my NBA draft ratings, in my personal opinion. Not a true professional, but so some of these may age pretty bad. But this is just my personal opinion. So the Houston Rockets, obviously they got an S tier just because they got Jalen Green, has the potential to be the next Kobe Bryant. They got Josh Christopher, who is who is an athletic guard. I mean, mainly because they got Alperen Şengün and they got Usman Garuba, which is two talented centers. One is a great defender, one is really good in the post. Josh Christopher is a great scorer, and so I like what the Rockets did. Another great team that did great. I could arguably put this up to the S tier, which is the Atlanta Hawks. This is just mainly because they snagged Sharif Cooper at a 48th pick. Highway robbery. They also got a talented wing in Jalen Johnson, so that's pretty good. The Brooklyn Nets, they did what they can. They needed a big, and Davon Sharp, he's a pretty tough big in the paint. So so I, so I give him an A rating, and they also got a good backup guard, which in Cameron Thomas, great scorer, great stuff. So I like what they did too. The Bulls, despite them passing on Sharif Cooper, they took Ayo Dosunmu, who's the hometown hero, and he's a good point guard. He's a great defender. He can score the ball. He's old, but still a pretty good pick. Hornets, in my opinion, they got a pretty good. They did their thing in this year's draft because they got Kai Jones, a talented big. So talented big, athletic big. Um, and they got JT Thor, who's also another really good steal. And then we go to the Cavaliers, who they did their thing by drafting Evan Mobley. So I like that they took Evan Mobley because he is a talented guard, and they did their best at the third pick. So I can't really find any faults. The Nuggets, they got Busy Highland, who's a really good scorer. Good, he's a solid defender too. He's a bucket, so he's like a Lou Williams with good defense. His range is pretty long. The Detroit Pistons, they got Kate Cunningham. What do you expect? So I have to put him in A tier. Warriors, they got Jonathan Kuminga, who I really like, and they also got Moses Moody, who could be a good backup to Klay Thompson. Or if Klay Thompson's out, because Moses Moody is pretty talented in my personal opinion. So B, I'm gonna go with my favorite team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Look, I love the Keon Johnson pick. I love the BJ Boston pick. I still did not like Jason Preston pick, although he may be growing on me. But we pass up on Sharif Cooper, which is I still feel this is unacceptable till this day. So it's basically Clippers got two A pluses and one F. But Preston can prove me wrong after I've been looking at his tape. I give Oklahoma City Thunders a B because they took Josh Giddey, which is he's a really talented guard as well too. Like he's really young, but I felt like they could have definitely traded down to get Josh Giddey. Like Josh Giddey, I feel he's pretty good. I feel he's gonna plan out pretty well, but they should have traded down in my opinion. Trey Man's a solid pick too. You cannot really go wrong with Trey Man. I mean he fits OKC. He's a really good scorer and all this stuff. Orlando Magic, they got Jalen Suggs, which is despite them having a lot of point guards, they took the best talent available. Heck, I may consider bumping the Orlando Magic back to an A, but I'll find out. The Kings, they got Davion Mitchell and Namias Queta, which is nothing too special, but I like the Queta pick. That's actually pretty underrated. Mitchell, he ain't a bad prospect. The 76ers, they take Jaden Springer, that's a really good pick. I personally like Jaden Springer. He's gonna be pretty tough for them on the defensive side. So, and then the Pelicans, they got the Pelicans. Let's just say, I mean, they traded down, so I don't really know. I mean, they traded, they pretty much just traded like two extra picks just to get rid of it. But I mean, they did what they can. I mean, I don't blame them for it, but I don't know. And then the Knicks, they pass up on a lot of talent. They could have kept Keon Johnson. They could have snagged Sharice Cooper, but they gave Keon Johnson to us. Thank you so much, New York. And you pass up. You took Roku Jokbaitis over Sharif Cooper, which is what the heck was that? So, and they took Quentin Grimes too, which is what the heck is that again? Like I would have took Busy. They should have took Busy Highland instead of instead of Quentin Grimes. The Pacers, I don't know what the heck they did as well too. They traded Isaiah Jack. They traded down. Um, wait, wrong one. My bad. I mean, wrong one. Actually, Pacers they did a solid job. They got Isaiah Jackson, which is a pretty good big, I guess. But I mean, they took Chris Duarte, which is a pretty good shooter, but he's pretty kind of old. But again, we'll just see how it pans out. They take Chris Duarte over Moses Moody, which is I kind of questioned that, but again, I could be wrong. So, and then we got our Toronto Raptors. They passed up Jalen Suggs. They took Scotty Barnes instead. Again, I could easily be wrong, but it's kind of weird to pass up on Suggs. But Scotty Barnes is a versatile player, so it's not too bad. But it's not the best thing. And then you got the Phoenix Suns. Basically traded their pick to get for Landry Shamet, which is Shamet. As a Clippers fan, I watch Shamet play time to time. He's a good shooter, backup player. But again, is it worth trading their pick? I don't know. It could potentially go become a D. I may just put it at C as of right now. The Grizzlies, they took Trey Murphy the third, which is that's a fairly good pick, and then 30th pick they just took that unknown prospect that I literally would not dare to say his name, so that's a really horrible pick. They could have took anything other than that guy. And the Spurs, I kind of put it at a D just because I felt like they could have definitely traded down to get Josh Primo because there's no way he was gonna be that high. Like he was projected, it was like ranked like in the 20s, the 20s. They could have definitely traded down and got some asset back, but again, what can you do? The Lakers, okay, the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook. Look, I don't like the Lakers, but this is not me being biased. But the Russell Westbrook trade is just I don't feel comfortable about that if I was a Lakers fan because Russell Westbrook he cannot really shoot. He's ball dominant. You got two ball dominant players, so I question the fit. But again, we'll see. The Washington Wizards, yeah, I accidentally flamed the Pacers, but now I'm flaming the Wizards. So the Wizards, like they seem to did solid. They got the 22nd pick, and then they just threw that away to the Pacers for Isaiah. They threw down the pick, and then yeah, they should have took. I felt they could have took for Aaron Holiday, and I forgot, but they could have took Nishan Highland in my opinion, because Nishan Highland he's a really good scorer, or they could have took Josh Christopher, but I don't know what they were thinking. The Celtics, I originally had him in an F, but it was Juhane Bangarian. He was a pretty young prospect. His defense is pretty good, but again, it's over Sharif Cooper, so I don't know. The Jazz, they just pretty flat out just I don't know exactly what they traded the pick for. They just pretty much threw that away. They could have definitely drafted there's still a lot of talent they could have taken in the second round. Same reason for the Milwaukee Bucks. But again, I could easily be wrong if any of those teams. So let me know what y'all think. Be sure to like and subscribe. And again, this is not a true professional at grading. But again, why not just do it? Because I kind of love looking into the draft, but I'm not perfect at studying all of these prospects. I study the prospects around at our area, but just let me know what y'all think, and be sure to like and subscribe. And these teams that I didn't put in the grades is just because they didn't have any picks. So